So today's talk is called, Am I? Am I? Am I what they say I am? When I say they, I mean the spiritual leaders. I mean God. Am I what God says I am? Am I what I began to believe that my spiritual teachers told me I was when I came into unity? Am I good? No matter what. Am I intelligent? No matter what. Am I a God being? Am I God being me? Am I? Well, my thought is yes. But when like Scott was saying there, when I look in the mirror and I see someone else looking back at me. Do you ever look in the mirror thinking you're going to see one person and you see somebody else? Yeah, it's disconcerting. Because when I have a thought to look into the mirror, I'm looking with my ego. And often I don't see my ego looking back at me. And so I try to find my ego again in the mirror. And I get disappointed because I want to see the ego rather than just the God self. That's why an exercise I started years ago in my classes was asking everyone to look in the mirror in the morning. You go to brush your teeth and stuff and say, "Hi, God." That's why Reyesa comes up here and says, "Hi, God." She took my classes for years. And it's like, but you look in the mirror and say, "Hi, God." You have to smile. And you can't find any flaws. When you're looking at God, there's nothing wrong with your hair. There's nothing wrong with your skin. There's nothing wrong with your teeth. There's nothing wrong with your past. Hi, God. It's so simple. It's a way of practicing your I am power. Your true I am power. And a lot of spiritual teachers will tell you, oh, don't misuse your I am power. Don't ever say I am poor and I am this. Now, I do advise you don't bother with those. Fortunately, the love of God is so great that we're not going to be punished for saying those things. But you don't want to convince yourself either that that stuff is true, that you are poor, that you are anything less than the Son of God, the child of God, that you are. So there's no point in claiming your I amness for anything less. Because really, am I poor? Am I poor? I remember back when I had virtually no money in New York City when I moved there. I barely had anything. I made $300 a week, and I had to pay $600 a month in rent out of that, and somehow I did a lot of stuff. So I was never poor. And I find that interesting because I hear people refer to themselves as poor, and I think, well, so poor can't be about how much money you have. So therefore, I can't say I am poor if I have this amount of money instead of this amount of money. Certainly, I can't say I am fat even though I weigh more than I would like to weigh. I am good. I am really good. Sometimes I tend to be poorly behaved. But I am good. I am good. What we need to get into our consciousness is that no matter what we think, no matter how we behave, we're never going to be separate from God. We're never going to be disconnected from God. I don't have to feel connected to God to be connected to God. I can't disconnect. It's not possible. I can't ever change my innate nature. It's not possible. And if I can't do it, then the person I like the least can't do it. I'm never going to change what God is. Therefore, I'm never going to change what I am. Am I? I'm never going to change what I am I? The answer is no. I'm never going to change what it is I am. child of God. And I can't help it. That is my source. I may not know what God is, but I'm still it. Many teachers prior to me have used this analogy that I am God. You cannot take the ocean out of the wave. It takes all of the ocean to make the wave. The wave is not separate from the ocean. Therefore, it takes all of God to make me. I am the wave. I am not separate. I may look different. Lee, would you get me a Catherine Ponder book, please? Out of there. Because Catherine Ponder, on her book, she has an emblem on the front of her books. They're over there, the case finding. I want to show you this because this is how we have come to believe that we are separate, that we are somehow different. They're up there on the right. There you go. Thank you. Okay. Do we see this gold emblem here? See this gold emblem here? Everybody see it? Now, let's imagine God is the center here. But you'll notice all of the points are connected to the center. None of these points are separate from this center. We're clear on that. See, we're all points. I have been thinking I was different because I'm at a pointy end instead of the center. I'm trying to make myself the center and make you all a separate pointy end. And that's not working out. But this is God, the center. And we all extend. But there's no break. There's no break from the center. And that's what we need to take into account. I am a part of the center. I am a part of reality. I am a part of what is. Remember, reality is that which does not change. That which has never changed. That which will never change. So therefore, are my opinions part of reality?
No.
There we go. Is my physical body part of reality?
No.
Because it changes a lot, huh? Your physical body. Nobody here is the same size they were when they were born. We've stretched. Oh my goodness, we're stretching. So my opinions, is this building part of reality? The street outside, your car, your house, the appearance of your relationships. But is the divine nature of your relationships part of reality?
Yes.
Is your inherent nature part of reality? Your God self. Is truth part of reality?
Yes.
Truth with a capital T. Let's not confuse it with the small. I was reading a little bit about I looked up some of the stuff about I am. And I don't know if you knew that 12th century, 14th century mystic, Meister Eckhart, he was brought before the Pope because he was teaching about his oneness with God, that there was no separation, and he was forced to recant everything that he had falsely taught back in the 14th century. To the 10th century Islamic mystic, Al-Halal was crucified for using language that claimed an identity with God. Religionists would keep us separate from God. They would put God up there or over there or somewhere else, as a person and a personality to be honored, to be worshipped, to be praised, and to look up to, rather than to identify with and as. To realize the power is within each and every one of us that is in God. If God is power itself, omniscience, omnipresence, omnipotence, power, knowledge, presence itself. And God is the creator. How could I be less than the creator? I can pretend to be less than the creator. I can play at being less than the creator. But I can't actually be less. David's therapist one time told him, do you know how powerful you are? You've taken a world-class talent and made it this small. And that's any one of us when we're afraid. Oh, when I give into my fear. When I decide my fear is more important than what I am. Than what I truly am. It says when mystics say, I am God, or words to that effect, they're not talking of an individual person. Their inner explorations have revealed the true nature of the self. And it is this that they identify with God. Thomas Merton said, if I penetrate to the depths of my own existence and my own present reality, the indefinable am that is myself in its deepest roots, then through this deep center I pass into the infinite I am, which is the very name of the Almighty. I am is the name of God. God is none other than the self. So another scholar points out that the Psalm 46, where it says, be still and know that I am God, is not about be still and listen to some tyrant who wants to tell us he is God. It says, be still and know that I am God. We're so willing to believe that we have the genetics of our earthly parents. We go to the doctors, yes, we have this, yes, this one died of cancer, yes, this one did this, yes, this one did this, yes, this one died of this, and this was sick with this. We're so willing, so eager to go to the doctor and say, I am my earthly parent. Be your heavenly parent. That's what Myrtle Fillmore, Unity's co-founder, did. She decided to believe what her teacher told her. I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit sickness. I am a child of God. And that's how she began to place her thinking and her practice of living. Because that's what we do. We practice living. We practice it till we get it right. Let's begin a correct practice of living, so that we're not surprised when we look in the mirror. When we see the good that is in the mirror, to say, of course, hi God. Hi God. To look in that mirror, hi God. To look at each other, hi God. But there's no fear of looking at another, because there's no one who wants to hurt me. There's no one. I'm not under the bondage of thinking that somebody's out to get me. That anybody could. I'm not so foolish just to think that people aren't confused, that they haven't forgotten, but they're not out to get me. Now, I read this, my favorite book. It comes from Luke chapter 11, and it says, let's look at the parable of the lost son. Of course, we're talking about the prodigal son there. It says, let's look at the parable of the lost son, which seems to be a story of separate and independent beings, but cannot be, since there are no separate or independent beings in truth. The Father within the story is the same as me. Remember, this is Holy Spirit talking here. It's the same as me. There is no difference between us. You are the one who seems to be the lost son. However, you cannot be the lost son in truth, since you are one with me. The journey that this son seems to have taken is a journey in the mind only. In other words, you have traveled away from me in the perception of yourself. But this journey has occurred in perception only. We are not separate in any way. Now you are becoming ready to wake up from this imagined journey that you have taken. I have come to meet you and help you return to the truth of yourself. Here are some thoughts I ask you to practice giving acceptance to. The Spirit of God is one. Nothing exists that is outside the Spirit of God. I exist, and so I must be within the Spirit of God. That which is within the Spirit of God is the Spirit of God. I and the Spirit of God are one. All else is illusion. As we move forward, I will help you to see and understand these thoughts more clearly. For now, I ask that you get willingness to accept them. I also ask that you remember whatever is true for you is true of everyone and everything you experience. So, any separation we have experienced is in perception only. Any separation from each other or from God is in perception only. It didn't happen. So, if I want to ask, am I? Well, I am. I am the Son of God. I am the blessed child of God. I am good. And that is all that I need to know.